What's your favorite RuPaul read?
Oh, RuPaul, you are a fashion icon. Could you stand up for us, please?
Oh yeah, that's actually really good.
Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer, and Pokopia has completely taken over my life. Hi everybody, I am high-key on a staycation right now. I promised myself I wasn't gonna make any content, but here we are. Okay, so what I tried to do is add some strawberry lemonade, and then I'm gonna try this black cherry seltzer and see if that helps adjust anything at all. Here goes nothing, divas and dolls. Oh, it squirted! Okay. This week the queens are tasked with performing in a stand-up challenge, but they will be toasting and roasting Alyssa Edwards, the only Global All-Stars winner. I love Alyssa. She has been making her rounds all over the world, being in the Philippines, being in Canada's Drag Race, being on season 17 last year, and now this one. She's just everywhere because the show wants to remind us that she won Global All-Stars. And they also have to roast and toast each other as well as the judges panel. Typical standard RuPaul roasts. I said last week I would really love a roast of the hosts, maybe if that was a versus the world situation where they brought in Nikki and Rita and Brooke and just had them all get obliterated. That would be so fun to watch. Anyway, I digress. Season 18 is a fantastic season if highlight arrows you only watch the United States franchise, and that includes Drag Race All-Stars. Because what we just perceived from All-Stars 10 was a completely rigged competition in order to crown Ginger Minj, and we saw that at every single turn when it got to her bracket, as well as the second round of the tournament. And so in comparison, season 18 is a breath of fresh air. It's like, whoa, you can barely see what the producers are trying to do. It seems like they're just sort of hands off and just letting things happen this season. And there's a way to do that without being blasé. Great example of that is Drag Race Belgique, which you can barely see what production is doing, and it's just basically a docu-series of drag queens. Drag Race Italia also does a great job of that when you don't really see what it is that they want to happen. Drag Race España is also great at doing this. And so for me, as someone who does review all of these seasons and evaluates all of them, not just what's happening in the US, I'm looking at situations like España 5, which quite literally was the best season of España so far. Had great casting, great challenges, great lip syncs, great runway categories, special guests that knew what they were doing and had a lot of authority when they were in that judge's seat. Canada's Drag Race Season 6 reinvented certain challenges and continued to have no misses when it came to their runway categories. And even with some of my production frustrations in Drag Race UK versus the World, that season is also doing a great job at staying current and modern and feeling super fresh. And so in comparison to all these international seasons, the US one should be the best of all of them, and it's simply not the case. Anyways, I continue to digress. So my frustration with Drag Race Season 18 is that they are undermanaging the season in the wrong way, and where they are overmanaging it, they're pulling the rug out from underneath us and constantly misdirecting. And there are great ways of misdirecting. Season 6 of mainline Drag Race is a great example of misdirection editing. But for the most part, Season 18 is not hitting in the same way that these international ones have. The way they rejuvenate the franchise and don't stay stale and stagnant. US should be better than all of those. It is the flagship franchise. We're gonna talk about the queens, their looks, and some of their light storylines. The queens do a really fun mini challenge that was so breezed through. I want the perfume challenge to come back as a maxi. I miss that. The claymation AI hands kind of freaked me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but everything else about it was super fun, and I would have loved if this was the maxi instead. Kind of hilarious that they did a perfume mini challenge the week they were gonna have Alyssa there, because that's what kicked off Alyssa's secret. Do we know what that secret is, by the way? Mikey won that and got to distribute the order of the roast. And I think that it was interesting that they showed us why she made the decision she did during the roundtable. So for my positions, Mikey is in my number 1. I thought she was very funny this week. She closed the show, which is a huge risk. When you've got balls big enough to close a show and you do it really well, that's deserving of a high placement for me. I especially loved when Kenya bombed right before her. She said, "Wasn't that terrible?" And I loved her line, "We're here to celebrate a leader, a mentor, and a teacher." which is maybe why Texas is last in education. She was a professional in every sense of the word, and I think she thought about every single aspect, including having a little bit physical comedy so that her set was that much funnier. Leaning in on her fist and pitching a joke. Brilliant thinking with having something physical to attach her comedy to. The runway category is called Swept Away, so it's yet another movement category. They already did something like that with Shake, 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 but this one is meant to be, it flows in the wind. I like this orange chiffon moment. She looks super editorial. It's giving winner energy, and I'm gonna put my bets right now on Mikey that she's gonna win the whole thing. I like this. It's a complete slay. Jane is in my second spot. She was so smart with her comedy. It's a skill to be able to hone in your intelligence and point that in the direction of humor. I could not believe that they let her use the word on aired TV, but oh boy was I here for it because I love that word. And it came at the expense of human Muppet Ross Matthews, so for Swept Away, she's doing the showgirl look. I found the hat to be kind of Pirate Lord to me, which is but not really harmonious with the look in my opinion. I think that sequin fringe was sickening, but it needed just a little bit of a haircut. I would have loved if there were some more layers in there so it didn't look so much like those washers that clean up your car. It's a slay though. In my third position is Darlene, who was the winner of this challenge, and that shocked and surprised me. Everything that she did had a freedom to it, and so I understand why she won, because she didn't take herself too seriously, and that's an important factor for going far in Drag Race, is just not taking yourself seriously. But up until now, she hasn't. I don't know why this was the week where they were like, you're just so dumb, and we love that you just let the breeze take you wherever it goes. She's literally done that every single week, and while she's had no misses on the runway, while she's had so many good challenges, I don't know if this was her win week. I thought this was Mikey's win week because she was perfection. Darlene didn't really do the challenge, and while there is something sickening and puss about doing a challenge in a completely different direction, it's also kind of off book a little bit. She started rough and realized it wasn't working, so she pivoted really well. Pivot! And the whole thing, bananas. It was the wackiest thing I've ever seen on Drag Race, but somehow super brilliant. And in the critiques, Rue told her that she let loose. She strikes again. For Swept Away, she's giving this everyday girl who's just trying to walk with an umbrella. And I love that peacock-esque color story. For me, whenever I see a girly who's carrying around an umbrella, running around in the wind, all I think about is Chelsea Boy from Drag Race Holland season 1, who did this runway where she was literally running back and forth as if the wind was so bad that it was just carrying her everywhere. And I think I just automatically am going to compare everything to that, because that is my top of an umbrella being carried around by the wind concept. That being said, in the wind-swept umbrella looks, Darlene is very high up there because I think the silhouette is nuclear levels of good. Super slay. In my fourth position is Nene Coco. She is getting an interesting edit because for the first time we're seeing a little more personality come through with her, beyond just being a cute boy who's also a pretty girl. She's getting backstory that she's got a lot of social anxiety and it's hard for her to sort of read the room. And I like that this layer is being peeled back from her. It makes her look a little less perfect. But that story came completely out of left field for me. Looking at how confident she is, I would have never thought that she was dealing with social anxiety. Also, they've mentioned once or twice that she's got a sort of sharp tongue, but that hasn't really come through in the edit at all. They've really not showcased that. So that being such a huge talking point this episode was sort of like, why were we not primed for this at all? They said she was just too mean in the roast, but that wasn't my problem with it at all. She sort of just swings, like a really big swing, but there's no wind to it. It's just big. The fist is up here and the contact happens, but it just doesn't have any momentum to it. There's no gravitas. There's no drama. It's just a punch. And like in a roast, you gotta... For Swept Away, I like this widow who's spreading ashes at the sea. I love a morning outfit. I love an evening outfit. I love a crying outfit. Give me the drama. I was worried that she was gonna drop dust or sand on that runway, and I'm glad that that wasn't the case. I think it is really beautiful. I love what she's presented package-wise. It's all very elegant, and I felt that about this too. It's a slay. In my 5th position is Discord. She looked really pretty in the roast, and that's kind of all I felt positively about it. Her jokes, I think, were there, but they were just so clinical. There wasn't enough refinement. Like, they were great jokes, just not pitched well. Here's a dumb dad joke, said 2 different ways so you understand my point. How does NASA organize a party? They plan it. How does NASA organize a party? They plan it. There's different tones in how you sell a joke, and everything that she said was sort of just read right off the cards. I think there was potential, it just didn't get where I needed to go. For Swept Away, this is supposed to be an outfit that floats in the wind, and the only thing that was floating was the fire behind her. And I get that sort of cartoon effect of the fire that's coming out of the mufflers, right? And it's just fire breezing behind you. I like that idea. No. I think it just didn't do it for me. So it's a slay for the look only, but it's a miss on what the challenge was supposed to be. In my 6th position, the question remains, Kenya pleaser. I feel bad for Kenya because last week she did so good, and this week she's back again to flop another challenge and another lip sync. This is why I wanted her to win last week, because I knew that she was not going to have another high placement. You only get so much dumb luck in the world where things turn around for you. Some people are chronically bad at Drag Race, and they've got 1 or 2 golden weeks where the stars align, the planets rearrange themselves, and you are going to do good. And that's what happened to her 2 weeks in a row, and then she's right back where she was before. So I felt bad. For Swept Away, I love this color on her. Lilac looks beautiful. It looks a little bit, though, like a Muses meets Megara cosplay kind of blended together. I don't think I hate that, but it looks like the fairy part was tacked on last minute. Like, it was not supposed to be this originally. I like Kenya, so this feels bad. The look, I think, is a chop. I think it's a little costumey, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It just doesn't work for what this brief is, but the muggy, hair, stunning. Her All-Stars glow up is gonna be next level. And in my last position is Juicy. She was 3rd in the lineup, which I think was worse because she was after Jane. I would never want to go after Jane. I would get in my head so badly. What even was this set though? It was so dry. Kind of like your vagina. It was totally giving, I'm really funny in front of my friends. Like, I'm really funny, guys. Like, I can tell jokes to my friends and they always laugh. But the set was not funny. For Swept Away, she is giving me Supermodel of the World tea with the colors. I didn't love the fitted bed sheet that she probably took right from the hotel. It did not match color story-wise with the look, so I was very confused. Why this? That amoeba look she did for beige, I almost got the sense that that's what this was supposed to be. That blowed, it had beautiful movement to it. I don't think it would have saved her from the bottom, but it was beautiful. If she had done that instead, I'm gonna chop the fitted bed sheet, but I'm gonna slay everything else. Darlene won the challenge. I didn't think that she was that good, but I thought she was fun. It was a little bit of a random win considering that she's had many other weeks where she could have won. And the bottom 2 are Kenya and Juicy, which I totally understand. I think it made sense. And they lip synced to Total Eclipse of the Heart, which is the drag queen song to do. I have a problem. I love nipples, but I don't want to see them on Drag Race runways. Juicy's nipples were showing, and Kenya was bubblegumming a lot. However, Juicy ate this up as expected, and when she did that backwards walk, the Miss Vanjie, while the cape was pulling her as if the wind was sweeping her backwards. That's where it was. Kenya looked defeated. She knew it was her time. She knew that she was gonna go. And that's what sucked. It felt bad to watch because it looked like she knew that it was curtains. But like when you're against Juicy Love Dion, you have no chance. And especially if you don't know the lyrics. It sucks because Kenya's being dogpiled online. And I think that she's had a lot of great story moments. She's had a lot of great highs, and people have an inability to see that because she sent home Mia. And I think people are so mad about that. But let's be real, Mia had no story or stake in this game. Sorry about it. Kenya had a lot more story to bring, and she did do that. I'm happy that she got to at least have a high moment last week. I just wish that it would have manifested in a win so that her going home this week would feel a little more satisfactory for me. as someone who really is standing her and enjoying what she brings charismatically. Because it would have been like, okay, you got your high placement, you got your win, and now you can safely go home. You finished off your story on Drag Race. But now she's got something to prove when she comes back for Drag Race Salt Lake City versus the world. Coming next up, we have a cowboy makeover challenge. I love men. What'd y'all think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Check out the Patreon if you want to get ad-free viewing of all of these videos before they hit YouTube. You could check out the Extravaganza Extra if you'd rather do something here native to YouTube that does have ads on it. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all on the flip.